great. And if you really are struggling, then it's best just to probably log off, and we will send the recording to all of you anyway. And of course, questions we will do at the end. We'll do as many questions as we can, but if we do miss out and we don't have enough time, then just pop them to our inbox, servicedelivery@newmarketholidays.co.uk, as you already all know. We'll be going through quite a bit this afternoon, organisational structure for 2026 for our service delivery department. Some of you will know that as tour management. That has changed to service delivery, but in essence, we're doing the same roles in the sense that we look after all of you guys, the allocations, and of course the service on the ground. We'll be looking back a little bit quickly at 2025, how that went for everybody, and what's new for 2026. We'll also be going over some end of tour reporting for you guys specifically, over some safety, staff and customer safety in resort, customer operations, which a lot of you will be familiar with. We have a guest speaker, Kelsey, will be coming in a bit later, going through some new initiatives with social media and content, photographs, videos, etc. And then we'll be finishing off with a few quick slides on Trustpilot, Wimbledon coming up in 2026, and then showing you one of our new videos that's just come out, which is a really nice Newmarket video towards the end. So our structure is as follows. Razmi, obviously to the side of me, is heading up our service delivery and sustainability. Charlotte is not in the room, so can't introduce herself. She's our sustainability manager, reporting into Razmi. Most of you know I'm Matt, the service delivery manager, and new for 2026 we have Graham, who's here in the room, who's come over from customer operations, working in the department as well, service delivery executive, and Kelly as well, who's also in the room, who is our admin, service delivery admin executive, who pays and authorises all your invoices. So be nice, because she's really important. And we also have Irene in the room, who works in the office, doing lots and lots of different bits and bobs, but is also a tour manager on some of our tours throughout the year as well. So Irene has joined us because she's obviously in the office today. So we'll just, you know me, Matt, service delivery manager. We'll go through which areas we look after, but I'll let everyone just introduce themselves as well.
Hi guys, so as Matt said, I'm Razmi, so I head up service delivery and sustainability. I've pretty much spoken to about 80% of you, so it's nice to all see you here. Thank you for taking the time to attend. It's really important that this kick-off session is like with the majority of you. So yeah, looking forward to working with you all. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Graham. I've moved over to service delivery from customer operations. I probably spoke to quite a lot of you over the last 18 months. So I'm very excited now to be joining, and also big news for us this year as well. We're starting to have tour managers on Rosa riverboat trips, so I'm going to be very heavily involved with that.
Hi everyone, I'm Kelly Gooch. I joined the team in November, was it? Yeah. So yeah, looking forward to getting to know you all. Keep sending your paperwork and I'll get you paid on time. Yeah.
If the paperwork's right.
Yeah.
But no, thank you everyone. So that's our team. I'm just going to quickly go over, for your info really, who is responsible for what in their key account areas for the coming year 2026. So Razmi, you can see Razmi is going to be looking after the majority, as well as heading up the department, our destination management company, so our DMCs. That's destinations which don't have a directly recruited Newmarket holiday tour manager. So that's destinations that none of you work in, basically, but for your information, as well as heading up the team. She's also been, of course, the key account person for USA and Canada. And there is a transitional period now where she's handing that over to Graham, who will have that from July onwards. So both Graham and Razmi will be dealing with any of you guys working on our programs in the USA or Canada. I look after pretty much everything else, really, short haul. So the vast majority of our tour manager population. And of course, my favourite part of the year, the wonderful Mr. Andre Roux programme as well, that lots of you have been involved in over the years, many years, and hopefully many years to come. Graham will, of course, as I said, be looking after USA and Canada after July, but at the moment alongside Rasmi. But from now, Graham is already the key account manager, as he mentioned, for Erosion River Cruises. First year for us as Newmarket Holidays to put tour managers on board the river cruise ships. So all very exciting, bit of a blank page. And as far as what service we're going to offer, but we think having tour managers on there with our customers will enhance that experience dramatically. And of course, also the big event in July, Wimbledon, which I know a lot of you are on board with already, if you're not already busy. Kelly, of course, as we mentioned, is responsible for all the end of tour reports that you'll be sending in after your tours. Very importantly for all of you, your invoices and any other tour manager administration. We will be going through in a bit more detail during this presentation, a slide on end of tour reporting and invoicing. Let's have a quick look back at 2025 and look at what's new for 2026. I'm thrilled to say that 2025 was a fantastic year for tour managers, for all of you and for our department. Let's look at the left to start off with Trustpilot in 2025. Some of you are absolute experts at this now. Some of you could still get more, I'm sure. But the tour manager reviews increased by 96%, which is fabulous news. But even more impressively, the number of 5-star tour manager reviews have increased by 122% versus 2024. So thank you to everyone that has worked hard on promoting customers filling in reviews. But more importantly, those of you that earn all that extra money, because don't forget, it's 15 quid every time you get a 5-star review with your name mentioned. The tour manager score in 2024 was 4.58. And I'm thrilled to say in 2025, it's 4.81. And if you do happen to Google or have a look through reviews, the overall score for Newmarket Holidays now as a business is 4.80. So we are now on, if not slightly above, the overall score for Newmarket, whereas in 2024, you could see we were quite a bit under when it came down to tour managers themselves. So again, an absolutely fantastic job to all of you, though, all of those of you that are involved in getting reviews sent in by customers. So thank you. Keep that up. The NPS, which of course is our questionnaire that gets sent to customers by email when they return back from their tour, wherever that is, every customer gets one. If they are a direct booking. Sadly, we can't send them to a travel agent booking. But the great news is, as far as the NPS questionnaire concerned, is we've got some fantastic results. But previous to that, tour managers related complaints that are coming in post-holiday for Newmarket Holidays directly recruited tour managers, all of you, whether it's short haul events or America or Canada, we've reduced year on year versus 2024 the complaints relating to tour managers by just under 30%. So fantastic again, really improved our service over the last 12 months. A new question that went onto our NPS questionnaire at the early part of 2025 was, how would you rate the service of your tour manager? That was never there in 2024 or previous years. So we can't compare that to anything, but the overall score for the year of 2025 came out of 58.9. Now, for those of you that are not familiar with NPS, when you see 58.9, you think that's not a very high score, which is why I put the definitions, because it is a high score. It's a great score. I can give you, sorry, it's just slides just got off the screen. I'll just give you an example that by tour, the question that we have on our questionnaires, which is, how would you rate your tour overall? That's normally around a 40% mark for by tour. So to give you that example, we have the tour manager question rated as 58.9. So there's an example of how much more people are saying, yeah, they've been really great. And you can see the definitions there, that actually anything from 30 to 69 on NPS, defined by NPS as a questionnaire system, is a great score. We have been given a target for 2026 of 60%, just over what we achieved in 2025. I mean, obviously, we would love to get up to 70, but 60 is a reasonable target. But well done to all of you that have been on our tours in 2025 to achieve that score. So again, thank you so much for all your hard work in 2025. I'd like to finish that slide by thanking you all. Those of you that did, 88% of our tour manager population filled in the survey we sent back in November, December. So thank you so much for doing that. And I'm thrilled to say new for 2026, we have listened, and all the tour managers' rates, wherever you work, are all increasing. So thank you for all your hard work. We have managed to spend a lot of time with our finance department, CFO, and after several years of the rates being the same, we can announce we've increased every single rate wherever you're working as a Newmarket Holidays direct recruited tour manager. They have all increased. You will see that increase in the next couple of weeks on your own individual terms of hire that we will be sending out to you. So your work contracts, your terms of hire, we call it, and your new rates will be on there. The only difference compared to previous years is if you are a tour manager that work in several destinations, you might do a Scottish tour, you might do a Spanish tour, and you might work on an event like Andre Rieu in the Netherlands. The rates will all be different because we've sat down and appreciate people's feedback and said where they're working in a destination that is much more expensive than another destination. I will give you a great example. In Norway, it's incredibly expensive, even just to buy a simple sandwich, compared to working in Scotland. So naturally, the rate in Norway will be higher. And we have done that very carefully, very calculated. And so you will see, if you work on several different types of tours, your rate and the tour name for that specific tour. So it's not a blanket rate. We've listened to all your feedback, we've thought carefully about it, and we don't like that. So I'm really thrilled with it, and I hope you will all be thrilled with it too when you see the increases. We've also looked at if tours are bed and breakfast normally or half board. We've taken that into account because a tour manager working on a long tour that's bed and breakfast, obviously the cost of living for them having to get lunch and dinner off their own back does mean that it can be quite costly. So again, we've looked at that as well. So even down to the events such as Andre Rieu, that's been increased fairly dramatically as well to take into consideration those extra costs. So that's all new and exciting for 2026. Lots of feedback on the quality of the bags we sent out last year. As far as the merchandise is concerned, thrilled to say we have quite a few boxes of brand new, really nice bags that have arrived already in the office. We're going to have new tour manager name badges, which we've got a version of in the office, and we're ordering those now. We're going to have some tour manager jackets, it says there, but they're actually more like a gilet. And those will go out to the majority of our tour managers. Some flags, some tour managers have already used our new white flags, which are a big improvement on the blue ones that some of you might still have. And so those of you that haven't got the white ones will get the white ones. It's done it again. So lots of new things coming up. Now, when we send the terms of hire out in the next couple of weeks, you will also, in the next, I'd say 3 to 4 weeks, start to receive your tour manager merchandise pack. And we are looking at how many tours someone works, where they work, and you will be sent that. But we'll probably do a questionnaire before that. Have you got the most recent clipboard that was given out last year? Because we don't really want to start sending everyone a full pack if you've already got a lot of that stuff. But you will be getting the new items sent out to you, I would say probably by the end of March. And we are going to be trying to, as and when we have time, to give all of you more feedback than we perhaps have done before. So when it comes to customer reviews, satisfaction, you can, of course, and should look at your own Trustpilot reviews, because you need to do that from an accounting point of view. And it's nice to see as well. But we will also be giving as much feedback as we can on the questionnaires that customers fill in online. So that's the NPS, even down to resort sales, because we can now monitor what is on our Manage My Booking system, what you're selling in resort. So lots of new things coming up, all exciting, all positive for you all, and hopefully that will change an awful lot of things for everybody. Rasmi's going to do some end of tour stuff for you.
So hopefully this is a slide that you like, because obviously, it's important that we receive your paperwork on time. and in the appropriate format, particularly as we've just had Kelly join our team last November, and she's already been speaking to a lot of you about the way that you send your documents through. So this is kind of a little bit of housekeeping, shall we say, and if there's anything new on there, I'll point that out as well. But predominantly, if we can ask you all to follow these guidelines, that would be absolutely amazing. It would avoid delay in your payment. So where possible, please do try your best. We do ask that each tour manager submit their paperwork to us in one email. I can't stipulate that enough because you can imagine the sheer volume of tour managers that we recruit. We're talking around approximately 140 of you. So if you're all sending your receipts in one by one, this is a lot of administration to get through. So please, really stipulating that point, one email with your attachments. What we expect in that email would be your main invoice for that particular tour, for that particular departure date. You should aim to get that to us within 7 days, but no later than 30 days. Again, a point that our finance department would like to make this year is that we are really, monitoring these, because we cannot go back to invoices for the previous year and start processing in the new accounting year. I'm sure you all understand that. But you need to get your invoices into us as quickly as you can post-tour. That's for your own benefit as well, so that we can process those and get those payments to you. I think one of the most important things that I would say is when you're filling out your invoices, to make sure that the amounts that you're claiming for have a match against your receipts and your claims. So we've got receipts, claims and amounts. They need to be matched 100%. If you've got 5 items that you're claiming, we need 5 receipts. It's as simple as that. Unfortunately, they will just come back to us from finance saying, we don't have a receipt, even for the €2 that you may be claiming. We need those submitted. We get audited, and it is very strict here. So we will be chased for those by our finance team. We need 1 invoice and 1 end of tour report. The end of tour report must be filled in for each of your departure dates. Each departure will vary in terms of situations, logistics, problems you may have encountered, or all the positive and negative aspects that you've experienced. We need to know about them, not only just for us, but we also use that document, and Irene will support me here, is that where she sits in the customer experience division, they rely on the tour reports, particularly if complaints are coming through. They can refer back to your reports if there's any particular incidents or situations that we may have not been aware of. We do rely on those. I know sometimes it may appear, there's a lot of paperwork that you're sending through to us, but actually it's really important that we get a full overview of what's happened on that particular departure. In addition to that, obviously, with all optional excursions that you sell in resort, we give you commission. In order for those commissions to be paid, they must be declared. You must fill out an optional excursion report. We must be able to reconcile your sales against anything that's been pre-booked from the UK. So in line with this, I would say to you, and we are happy to support you here, is that you must encourage customers on the ground to book via the Manage My Booking portal. You each are dedicated a unique tour manager ID number that comes within the paperwork that our product department send. It is unique to each one of you. Therefore, if you're selling an excursion on the ground to our customers, they simply log on to the Manage My Booking area, enter your ID number in, simply add and pay. I am fully aware that in some situations, whether be it technical problems, whether be it internet problems, whether be it that customers don't have the applicable Android phones, all sorts of reasons, or there's a technical situation, or the bank has, not authorised the payment, all sorts of things. I fully appreciate that. But the bottom line with that is that we must take cash payment for those customers and declare those on our invoices. You wouldn't be having that situation often, but if you do, we ask you take the cash payment from the customers, and basically we can reconcile that on your invoices. The most important thing I would say is that no customers should be allowed to go on optional excursions without payment in resort. There is a strict rule from finance that we cannot chase payments post departure on return to the UK. There's a number of reasons for that. One, the customers may not even belong to us. They may belong to our travel agencies. Consequently, we don't have direct contact numbers for those customers. So there's a number of different factors that come into it. So it's not because we're trying to make it difficult for you, but we must stipulate that point that if you do sell the excursion and resort, you must encourage Manage My Booking portal where you're having difficulty to take cash payment. Some of you are more savvy with the Manage My Booking portal. It's very easy because the customers use it directly themselves. We will be sending out a Manage My Booking simple step-by-step instruction on how customers process that booking. So it's really easy to follow. It's really uncomplicated. But if anyone does need particular training, just get in touch with one of us and we can walk you through a test scenario, basically. In addition to that, obviously, with Trustpilot being so successful in 2025, as Matt shared the stats for you guys, it's been phenomenal. And, you know, it's just a testament to say that, you know, if you're providing this amazing experience on the ground, regardless, our customers are writing about you. So, you know, you get incentivized, the customers are happy. And as far as we're concerned as a company, we are protecting that reputation. So we see it as a win-win from all angles. Now, I will just mention that the only difference here with claiming your Trustpilots is that we've compiled a separate template for you to simply put your claims on separately. They will be able to be claimed with your invoices. It's just almost a replica of the optional excursion report where we can track those for you properly. We are unable to pay for any Trustpilot reviews that are not attached with your claims. You must treat the snapshot of the Trustpilot reviews almost as a receipt to your claim. So I hope that makes sense. A lot of you do that very well. So whilst it's not a problem, I will say to you the only difference is that you'll have a statement that you'll fill out for your Trustpilot claims. In addition to that, and this is a you know an important point that I must stipulate, it is within every single one of your terms of hire. From the point of submitting all your end of tour documents, your payment will be processed no later than 28 days. Now, I say this with, you know, a small caveat that this is subject to your accuracy of your submission. If you're missing receipts, if your rates and your claims are not within the terms of hire, there will be a delay, naturally, because we will have to come back and forth to you until we get that sorted. So please take your time to just check that your paperwork is 100% accurate before submitting. This is to avoid any delay. I'll be honest with you, our finance department, although we've got that benchmark of 28 days, usually it's earlier, especially if your paperwork has no, you know, queries on there. So with all that in mind, the other important point, and just to end this slide off, and it's not to kind of, you know, I don't want this to sound like a bit of a moaning session, but actually we want this to go well because we want you guys to get paid on time without delay. And I will say to you that your invoices must only come to the service delivery inbox. Please do not send your invoices straight to finance. Even if you have got that relationship with them previously, they will just send it back to us. Do not send it to product, they will send it back to us. So by doing that, you could potentially be delaying yourselves even more, because you must understand that individual inboxes are not monitored. People can be on holiday, they can be off sick, whereas our service delivery inbox is monitored continuously by all of us in the team. So there is not going to be a delay. So please send your paperwork just to servicedelivery@newmarketholidays.co.uk. And as we mentioned at the start, Kelly is now responsible for checking the accuracy of all your invoices. So she will come back to you if the very smallest point is not covered on your paperwork. Thank you. I can talk you through this, but it's really just a quick reminder of how you can search for your Trustpilot reviews. On any, you know, Google Chrome, if you type in Trustpilot Newmarket Holidays, you will immediately see the Newmarket Holidays review platform come up. So where we've shown you on the left-hand side, you'll be able to click into the site and then encourage your customers to write a review, as you can see on the right-hand side. So it's literally as simple as following the link that we've got highlighted. We have shared that on your terms of hire. We've shared it as a printable version for a lot of you in 2025. So it is a matter of understanding how you would communicate that to the customer. Different tour managers have different ways, should we say, or methods of doing this. You are all unique in the way that you do this. So there isn't a right or wrong, but we're just simply stipulating that you share the link with your customers, particularly if you know that that tour's gone really well. It's only going to be in your favour to do that. So just make sure that you're, you know, savvy with how to find the site, and you save the link somewhere in your phone so that you're able to share that. Remember that we're not able to share this within joint group communication. We must not do this in a WhatsApp group. We can only communicate to customers individually. And we all know that from 2025, as we shared, that because it's against GDPR regulations, it's really important that we don't cross-share customer contact details and data. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, just very, very briefly, at some point in the next month or so, prior to April, we will be sending out to everybody a kind of top tip hint of what should be included in the very first transfer speech. So I'm not saying every day on the tour, I'm saying the very first moment you collect your customers at the airport on arrival, and the very first time you get on the coach with them, what should be included. This is again mostly related to our insurance policy. It's affected by our crisis management policy, and we must include, of course, things like there are seat belts, please ensure you're wearing them when you're seated on the coach, that sort of thing. So I'm not going to go through it all now, but you will get that on email, and we will be asking you to make sure that you are including those points in your transfer speech. We, of course, want you to be yourselves, use your own personality, talk about the things that you love about that tour or that destination, how you normally welcome people. So it's not going to be a script that you must read word for word, but it is going to be, of course, certain points that must be included, and you can include them in your own way, but there will be things that must be included. The main reason is, should anything happen, touch wood, on the coach, heaven forbid an accident as such, then one of our ways of ensuring with our insurance policy and legally is if we know and we can confidently say all our tour managers always ensure that on the microphone, on the very first moment they leave on that coach from the airport, we always say at Newmarket Holidays, please ensure you wear your seatbelts. They must be fastened. It's a legal requirement. If you are having to move around the coach, take extra care. So yeah, I think you all know what I'm getting at. So that'll come out. There will be some very, very basic, and please don't get alarmed by this, there will not be a health and safety audit for anyone to complete. We're not asking you to do that. There'll be some very basics, little checks to do on arrival to your first hotel, such as, is it obvious that the fire escapes are padlocked with a great big metal chain? Hence, you then go to reception and say, can I speak to the manager? This needs to be unlocked. Just very obvious things. It won't be a full-on health and safety audit, but there will be a little quick, very simple 5-minute checklist just to make sure we are comfortable that you're not sleeping in the same hotel as those customers that have fire escapes locked, for example. Fun and games with this technical stuff today. The other thing that we will also be asking to make sure we include is just general safety in resort. That will be probably included in your transfer speech or your welcome meeting speech, the very obvious basics. Now, it's amazing, isn't it, how most of our customers are so incredibly well travelled, but yet they fly over to Italy and don't look the right side of the road when they're crossing it and forget that perhaps traffic's on the other side of the road. You wouldn't believe how many people do actually just forget that. So by just making sure we're highlighting the very obvious basic things without patronising our customers, of course, then it means you've covered it. And that photo on the left with all the motorbikes, I took that just before COVID in Vietnam. And it was the most terrifying thing trying to cross the road in Vietnam. So I don't know if anyone's been, but it's awful. But I loved Vietnam, but I just didn't like crossing the road. Now, I know that in most European destinations, we wouldn't experience anything like that, but I thought it was a great photo for this type of thing. So yeah, we'll let you know what's going to happen with it, but there will be a few little extra bits. But I'm sure some of you will read those emails and those documents and say, I do that all already. And that's absolutely great, because I'm sure you all do. But it's just a reminder, we've got to make sure we've covered ourselves and that you've covered yourself by saying we have included this, and we're very confident that our tour managers are all completely familiar and do use that terminology by making sure people, I mean, I've heard so many tour managers all saying about seat belts, and it goes without saying really, doesn't it? But it's just a reminder really, and making sure we do include that when we're talking to our customers. I'm going to pass over to Graham, linked on from safety to our customer operations department.
Yes, so like I said earlier, I've moved over to service delivery from customer operations, where I spent 18 months. And I just wanted to go over it a little bit with you, because it's an amazing tool for tour managers. It's amazing for customers. And over the last 2 years, it really has developed and really changed. And for a lot of tour managers that have used the service in the past, I'm hoping that over the last even 12 months that you'll have seen a difference to previous years. The telephone number, as you can see, we've highlighted that red. It has changed. So if you can make a note of that telephone number whilst it's on the screen, pop it into your phone, write it down so that you've got that number to hand. That number will go on all the customers' documentation, and it's monitored 24/7. Now, the UK team will operate and man the lines from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. And then from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. it'll be our colleagues in South Africa. The email, as you can see there, customer operations at newmarketholidays.co.uk. That's monitored 24/7. And what a lot of tour managers started to do last year was, rather than call, was drop the customer operations a quick email and say, hi, it's John, can you please give me a call on this number, currently in Seville? And then they'll call you. But the number has changed. So if anyone has called it in the past, we've took away the press 1 for this, press 2 for that, press 3 for that. You will just go through. We've also taken off this as an emergency line, because it's not an emergency line, it's a customer operations line. So it's there for customers who miss flights, if they've been pickpocketed, anything like that. So they will be able to help you. They took over 1,000 calls last summer alone from customers and tour managers. So that just shows you now how important it is. The team is headed by Steph, and we've also got Shannon, Denise and Kathy. So I'm sure many of you have spoken to them over the last year or so. But just some of the things that they do help and did help with last summer, more importantly, was that all our customers are on. So if you're doing the tour, wherever you're doing the tour, they are monitoring the flights that the customers are travelling on. If they're delayed, they will be contacting the customers, and they will be contacting yourself. They're going to do a lot of the hard work for you. You can still monitor your flights. You will see that flights are coming in late, but they will be there monitoring the background. Also, any flight disruption, as in cancelled flights, flight delays, customer missing flights, missed connections in Amsterdam, which happens quite a lot. Lost luggage, transfer advice for customers that have missed flights, etc. Use them. Use customer operations. Ask them to help. Ask them to contact the customer. You know, this is a great tool for you so that you can obviously do what you do best and, you know, have the good part of the tool. So it's really important that we sort of do that. And again, with accidents, illness, sadly also last year we did have 4 customers pass away on tour. So again, customer operations will be your first point of call them. And even during the night, we do have an escalation manager on duty. So if you do go through to South Africa, one of our colleagues, you're unable to either understand them or they're not understanding what you're asking, just ask them, please, can you escalate this to the escalation manager and ask them to give me a call. And someone will do that. So you've got them there 24/7 basically. And it's a tool that we want you to use a little bit more in 2026. And I'm assuming for those who have already used it, you know, you will agree that it has had some teething problems, but very, very excited to go into 2026 with a very experienced staff of over 2 years now who know basically what their job role is, and that is to support the customer, but also to support you on the ground also.
Great.
Next one is Wimbledon. I've been sort of allocating 2 managers for Wimbledon this year. We had 54 gaps due to the 2 managers that did it previous years. We have only got 3 left, unfortunately. So Friday, the 10th of July, we've got 2 gaps, and Saturday, the 11th of July, just 1 gap. So if there's anybody on the call now who is free on them dates and you'd like to be put forward, then drop me an email and I'll see. Obviously, it'll be first come, first serve. I'm sorry I can't give you any more, but it was very popular this year. But I'll try and get the last 3 slots filled by anyone who's here today on the call. But thank you for those who have agreed to do it again for us this year. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Okay, I mentioned earlier that we have a guest speaker, so I'm going to pass you over to Kelsey.
Hi everyone, I'm this little tiny head at the back, and so a centimetre high on your screen, so I included a picture of my face. So I am Kelsey. I work within the marketing team. I look after all things social media. That's the customer facing side of things, so anything that our customers might interact with, our Facebook page, Instagram, etc. I have only been with the business since November. But I have a long history in guided touring. I was working for Trafalgar for the last 6.5 years. So this is very much my universe. But we've made quite a lot of changes. So if you follow us on Instagram or Facebook, you've hopefully seen some of these changes happening in action. And I have a new plan that I need your help with if you can assist me. So there's a few kind of key goals I've got this year. Top one is no more stock photos or videos. Hopefully you can already see this. Lots more human beings, lots more real guests. I'm going to be looking to feature you lovely people. You've probably seen my own talking head in those videos if you follow us. And so I need your support basically in gathering that content. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in the next slide. You'll also potentially, some of you see me out on the road this summer. I have got a small shoot budget, so I'm out capturing content of our actual guests this year. But the whole point of that is to make our social presence feel unique. I want people to come onto our social channels and see the best of Newmarket, the things that make us special and why they should travel with us instead of our competitors, which again, that includes spotlighting all of you wonderful people. Obviously, one of my key goals is improving performance. That should shock no one, I'm sure. I want people to see our stuff. And improving knowledge. I know a lot of people have absolutely no interest in social media, and that is fine. But what I do want you to understand is what I'm trying to achieve. Even if you have no interest in building your own social media presence or capturing content, I want you to know what the goals are and why we ask for certain things. And then finally, my goal is to improve content skills, of course, amongst the tour manager community yourselves and within the business. So I'm running training sessions within the business for staff going out on fans, but I'm also looking to upskill any of you guys who want to learn. Next slide, please. Thank you. So how can you help? Oh, somebody can't see the slide. So how can you help? I need fun and authentic images of real guests. What I don't need is the whole group stood in front of a monument, standing still, someone's blinking, somebody's looking off, somebody's shouting at their kid that's not paying attention. 2, 3 guests having the time of their lives is exactly the perfect kind of thing that I need. I've included some examples. Some of these were taken by friends of mine, some of them are stock examples, but just the real feeling, right? Hopefully you all look at these images and you understand instinctively what we're trying to get across here, right? The emotions that traveling actually brings up. So if you take any of these beautiful photographs, I need you to then share them with me. I know that there are questions about consent. I've had a few tour managers reach out to me already.
Yeah.
I'm working on cleaning up that process. For now, the process is stick with the forms you have.
Yes.
I promise it's going to get easier and more simple. I had a way in my last role that it was fully automated and tour managers didn't have to do anything. So I'm hoping that I can get it that way. But for the moment, stick with things as are, and you'll hear from me as soon as it is fixed and running and more smooth for you all. But yes, any of those images you do take, please share them with me. I've included my email in this slide. You can share them in the Facebook group that I know a lot of you are in. I'm sure that service delivery will point you in my direction if you lose my email. I am the only Kelsey that works for Newmarket, so you're not going to mix me up with anyone. Yes, and then if there's any opportunities while you're on tour, you think there's a story in it. So for example, you have a couple that get engaged. You have a couple that come back from an afternoon away and they say, oh, we just renewed our vows in a little church in Florence. Tell me about them. Tell me about them so I can shout about them. The blog team can interview them. I can feature their images on social media. All of those really exciting stories come from you guys. You're the only people that are on the road all the time. You're the only ones interacting with the guests. I would love to just spend my life gallivanting around the world on all of our tours. Sadly, I'm yet to convince anyone to pay for that. So I need you guys to be my eyes on the ground. So anything like that that's a cool story. Maybe you've got 4 generations of a family that are all traveling together. Anything like that, please just tell me about it. Ping me an email. That's all I need. Next slide, please. If you are interested in helping in a more kind of engaged way, I would love to see some tour managers starting their own Instagram accounts that are for work purposes. Why do I want you to do that? One, it helps us build brand recognition. You all become kind of mini influencers. Even if you only have 100 followers, that's 100 people that are actively engaged with Newmarket. And I know you're probably thinking, Kelsey, our demographic are way more on Facebook than they are on Instagram. You are correct. But I can't pull content from private Facebook pages. If your account is a public Instagram profile, I can pull all your videos right off there and you don't even need to reach out to me. I can save it. If you say, Kelsey, it's fine for you to have all of these photos and videos, I can pull it and I don't need to bug you. Finally, I also believe in the separation of work and personal life. Have a work account, not your personal account, because the guests don't need to know that you're at a wedding on Saturday night. They don't need to see pictures of the grandkids. Like, you can keep those boundaries separate. I haven't seen any, but there might already exist. If you have a professional Instagram account that you use for tour manager stuff, please pop me an email and I'm happy to chat with you, see how we can work together on that kind of stuff. And again, there is no requirement for anyone to do this. I don't want anyone in this call to be like, oh my God, I have to become an Instagram influencer. Only if you're interested in supporting the social team and learning more about social media. And I've set up my own fake little account there that you can see in an alternate life, if I was a tour manager, what that might look like, and the kind of things that I might share. Thank you. And the good bit, what's in it for you? So across our peak season, the 4 tour managers around the world who provide the most valuable and usable content to me will receive a £150 voucher of their choosing. This is the first time we've ever offered any kind of content incentive, to my knowledge. I am looking to grow this as well, but for this season, this is the offering that we are doing. So yes, you will get something for sharing great content and images, and they're just more visual inspo for you there.
Great.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Kelsey.
Thank you.
There's one more slide from me.
Oh.
Yes.
So just coming from me this year, I'm going to make some handy 1-page guides that are easy for you guys to refer to, look at on your phone quickly, in terms of the kind of content that we need, how to post on Instagram, how to take really good photos. If you're interested in content coaching, you want to learn more about social media, just drop me an email. I'm happy to offer training, one-to-one insights for anyone that's really interested in it. I'm also working on an easy place for you to share content. It's an uploader tool. Again, more to come on this, but the idea is that it would be a basic online form you fill in and you can just chuck your images in, select the tool from a drop down and add in a little note of anything you'd like me to know. I've already mentioned the easier consent process that is coming. And yes, if you see me out on the road, please be nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelsey.
Thank you, Kelsey. We've now got a very short video we'd love to share with you. So I'm hoping it's going to work.
You share this. It doesn't share. Share it on the
Not sure how that came across as far as sound's concerned, but we will send it so you can all see it. But it's a really nice new ad that we've the businesses launched. Okay, listen, we really appreciate all your time. You've all been here on this call for quite a long time, so thank you so much. But we will try and do a few questions, but we appreciate you've been on a long time, and we do have to finish this in the next 5 minutes. So, Aaron, I can see you've already raised your hand. I'll take the presentation off so we can see you all on the screen. Try and use your raised hand on the actual screen itself if you have any questions. But Aaron, please go ahead.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Great.
Couple things. One is I saw for the customer information, it said WhatsApp to be announced for us in North America. Trying to call the UK obviously is an expensive feature. So what can you share with us about the WhatsApp possibility of phoning that number if we need to get in touch with customer relations?
Certainly. I'll answer it really quickly. We have gone through a change in our telephone operating system, which is why the number has changed. That number is hugely improved because you don't have to wait and press certain buttons. So that's direct. You won't start mucking about with having to press option 1 or option 2. The WhatsApp story is it was for text only in previous months. We are working on trying to do the best version of whether we can do text only and calls, but it is all to be announced. So please don't bother using the WhatsApp number you may have saved before. But as Graham said, the best thing you can do, I think, is to send a very quick one-liner by email. I'm Aaron, I'm in Canada. Please contact me on this number and they will call you directly. The email inbox didn't used to be monitored 24/7. It was monitored just by the UK team, but it's now monitored 365 days a year, 24/7. So whatever the time difference is, it won't make any difference. Someone will call you. So in the meantime, either call or send an email.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then my second question is, with the World Cup coming to North America, obviously there's going to be some changes in the cities, getting around the cities, doing things.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we're going to talk separately other than this meeting,
Yes.
but is there plans in place for things that need to be changed around the cities?
Yeah, absolutely. As tour managers, at least 2 to 3 weeks before your arrival or departure date, please get in touch with us and or your product executive or product manager, who of course goes through the logistics, the itineraries of your tours, to discuss anything that they're already aware of, if they haven't informed you of a change, or anything that you can share with them. Because it may be you being locally, you might have noticed things that perhaps our product manager or executive hasn't necessarily noticed or not completely aware of. But yes, I can assure you everyone's aware the World Cup is going over and happening. So yeah, let's see how far England get this year. But yeah, and everybody else that's involved and supporting their own nationalities.
Thanks
but
a lot,
England,
Matt.
really.
Don't forget Canada.
But England really.
Okay,
Rob,
thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Aaron.
you.
Rob, you've got you're waving. Hello.
I have. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for really interesting presentations, by the way. Quick question. It's actually about when people book on tour optionals, and some passengers are not direct bookers, as you know, they come through travel agents. Quite often I found that passengers would say we weren't aware that we could book optionals, or we didn't have an opportunity to, or we didn't have any possibility of booking an optional in advance. I think that is an issue. I don't know if there's any solutions to that, because I always feel slightly bad if I take the paid on tour price for someone who wasn't able to book in advance. Is there anything we can do to look at that?
I will be very, very honest and very direct and quick so we can get as many questions as we can. They have the option in advance. Their agent should be telling them. If they're a direct booking, we offer it to them. We tell them book. We tell them why they should book in advance because it's cheaper. And if they have to pay the in-resort price, Rob, they have to pay the in-resort price. That's the short and quick answer. They've had it on their information, their documentation. They have managed my booking. They can look at all the optional tours they have available on their tour, and they know that it's more expensive in resort. So I'm afraid they would have to pay the in-resort prices, obviously. And you know, hopefully they're a returning customer. Hopefully they've been on several tours with us. Or if it's their very first tour, and for argument's sake, they're with you in Carcassonne, you can, of course, handsomely promote the fact that they next go on a Newmarket tour. Don't forget to book in advance, because that way you won't pay as much locally. Tamara, can we have yours? Thank you, Rob.
Yeah, I just wanted to piggyback off of what Robert just said. I do come across that a lot, that they weren't given an opportunity to do that or didn't know they could. But my question is if I have a Venmo or a Square account where they can pay through with a credit card instead of cash, is that okay for them to do that? Or do they absolutely have to pay me with cash if they can't get into the portal?
To be honest, obviously our first preference is manage my booking portal, but I guess paying you by cash and then paying you on, you know, a little payment portal, I think is what you're saying, Tamara, straight into your account, is the same, because the money's going directly to you. You would just have to declare that on your invoice and I guess you're able to give receipts for that as well, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. No, I've seen that, and I know a lot of the North Americans do use that. Obviously, they've got that technology. So yeah, I would encourage that actually, because at least you don't have to carry around the cash. Yeah.
Yeah, and they do sometimes don't have the cash on them, so then they're struggling to find an ATM, and so if it's easier for them to pay with their credit card, I think I have a Square app on my phone, and it's just a tap to pay, and I can print off. I have a portable printer, I can print a receipt. Yeah.
To be honest, I would say go with that rather than the cash. That is more a secure way, and the transaction is quicker.
Thank you.
No worries.
I would only just quickly add to that those of you that don't have the apps or are perhaps listening to this conversation and thinking, oh my God, another app I need to download. How the hell does that work? Cash is also okay, right?
Yeah.
You're allowed to take cash if they can't do it any other way. The worst thing we can ever do is not let someone on an excursion that they really want to go on because we can't work out how for them to pay. So, but those customers must pay you, and, you know, let's face it, you wouldn't expect to get on any excursion in the UK or in Italy or in Spain or in Canada without paying for it. So we can be very polite, as we always are, of course, with our customers, and just remind them that, you know, you do need to pay me before we can book you onto this excursion. You know, whichever way they pay, it's okay. But we're being a bit nice, a bit too nice, when we let people jump on the coach and then think, oh, I'll try and find the money later on when I see you at the end of the week. And then they've departed and we're all lost. So please make sure that the customers are fully aware they do pay you. Any other questions before we wrap up? If you have got any other questions or we've missed you or we couldn't do it today, please pop an email to servicedelivery@newmarketholidays.co.uk. You will, of course, all receive in the next couple of weeks your terms of hire. Your terms of hire will have every single tour that you've agreed to via emails on one document. It will show you every date, whether it's 2 or whether it's 20. They'll all be on there. And if you have any questions over that document, because we are going to ask you to sign it and send it back, please just reply to the email saying, could you just explain this? Could you just explain that? If in doubt, pick up the phone. But please do send any questions in by email if you have any more after this. But we are going to have to wrap up. So I just wanted to say a massive thank you to everyone that's joined. It's been our biggest attendance so far. So well done, everyone. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic summer. And we really hope to see as many of you on the ground as possible. But take care. Thank you, and see you all soon.
Thank you, guys.
See you soon, Graham.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Grazie. Ciao.
Ciao. Ciao. Ci vediamo dopo.
Bye now.
Lovely to see you
Thank
all
you.
again.
Ci vediamo.
Bye. Ciao, arrivederci.
Ciao, arrivederci.
Arrivederci.
Bye.
Cheers.
Vedere bene. Non c'è più bene.